Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Banter on Sook News. Yes, you're expecting to see Grace Komolafe. Something happened to that lady. She wants to try me now. We're having a banter and it wasn't going in my way. So I had to give her elbow like, girl, shift. I need to sit down here and do something really good. So that's why you see me here. Anyway, there's a reason for this. My name is Blessing Aiche, by the way. And you know, banter is the mirror for the society. We'll look at things. How are you doing things? Are you doing it rightly? Is the government doing it rightly? Let's help them shape it and, sit well so we can all enjoy it. But there's someone who's a foreigner in this aspect. I'm talking about a man who had guts, who had boldness to call people to order. Regardless, whether you're a government official, religious leader, it doesn't matter who you are or who you were at the time, because he started doing this even before some of us were born. He could call you to order. This thing you guys do on social media and you feel you are bold. You say, I want to call them out. I want to drag them. Somebody started doing that. And that man is named Fela Kuti. So, he passed on several years ago. And let me take you down history line. Since he passed on, his songs have even been more relevant because he was like a prophet. Some things we see happen now. He told us it will happen. Remember, 49 sitting, 99 standing. When you enter Molwe, how many people sit down? How many people stand? So Fela was right in that aspect. So we see a lot of things that Fela talked about still happening till date. I'm just trying to picture how it would be wherever he is. Like, you see them. When I was saying it that time, they use me, they play. But they're saying it real. So there's a concert that happens yearly to celebrate this great man. As good as his music and as good an instrumentalist that he was then, you know this saxophone. Bros Fela was too good. No wonder his son, Femi Anikulapo Kuti, is also very good too. But apart from being a good instrumentalist, his song was based on what was happening in society, a socio-conscious kind of music. That's what he was doing, and it was respected all over the world. So there's Felabration, like celebration, celebrating Fela, celebrating the legacies of Fela. And that's what happens yearly. So is this year's edition is ongoing. If you're missing out, well, I'm just giving you tips for you to know where you should be at the right time. Okay, so the people who are making this happening, you can see this gentleman right here. You can see this man, Rasta. Respect. And you can see Koffi The Guru. Hey, Koffi, what's up now? Good to see you. Thanks to Felabration that we could have you in here. And this beautiful lady over here. I'm planning to do something with my hair. But I won't tell you exactly what color, but it's going to be something like this, but something that beats, sparkling. Because I like the way you're looking. You're a strong woman to be around this tough man. So, courtesy of Felabration 2023, these wonderful people are in our studio today. But King Sobrino is the one who is doing this with his organization, putting this together. So he's going to tell us what Felabration 2023 is doing. I cannot ask him what they're bringing to the table because I see them already. But tell us more, Sabrina.
All right. Felabration 2023, Underground System 3, a coda for the general theme, question, jam, answer. Question, jam, answer was one of Fela's songs, the title for his songs. This is 26 years after he passed away. And Fela would have been 85 on Sunday, the 15th of October. But unfortunately, under the ground. So for this year, Felabration at Freedom Park in Focus is a 7-day power-packed music concerts and art exhibitions, music festival. So we started on Monday, the 9th of October, then we'll be rounding up on the 15th of October. That's Monday to Sunday. And we usually have about 10 bands daily, and it's being supported by Origin and MG Realty, We're using 3 stages daily. We have the main stage, we have the food court stage, and we have the amphitheater stage. So the amphitheater stage is identified or regarded as the Gen Z zone, which is supported by Landmark Peters. Gen Z zone, no, because a lot of people have this misconception about Freedom Park, saying it's for the elite. So we usually consider the younger generations in any of the programs that we do. So, you know, from Monday we have the likes of Ekbenasa is a Fuji band, and so many other bands. And Tuesday we have the likes of Serrano and the musicians of the Lagos Jazz Society, Yinka Davies, Prince Eji Oyewole, and Gloria Hebrew, and the almighty musicians, you know, we have in Nigeria. Then Wednesday we had the 10 Strings Music Institute opening the show. Then we had Malaika, Alhaji Sule Alao Malaika, who rounded up the show around 1 a.m. with lots of music and enjoyment and all of that. So then we also had Femi Slide on Wednesday. Then not forgetting yesterday, Thursday, when we had the likes of Ashni. What a wonderful performance in the middle of something. You know, so we had Ashni, we had Bisola Omogebata, wonderful performance. She's a percussionist, and she really performs energetically. She does her thing well. So we had the likes of Larry and the Afro Reggae Band, who also did so much wonderful well. And of course, I would not like to forget this young man who is also a multi-talented musician, multi-instrumentalist. He goes by the name Made Kuti. Made Kuti at the show. I mean, he held the show very well for a couple of minutes. Made Kuti did well. Then, of course, what's the name of this young man? We also had Seun Lota, who also performed yesterday. I don't want to go on and on because of time.
Wow.
Then today Friday, shall be having the likes of Dele Taiwo. If you know Dele Taiwo used to be that juju musician who rocks. Yeah, gentleman of juju musician. Thank you very much. Who holds down shows. You know, you can't do but respond to his call of music while he's performing. You know, so Dele Taiwo today we have this young man by name Felicia Clark. He's also a sculptor. He's a musician. He's a reggae musician. He's a sculptor. And he'll be performing tonight. Then Rex Suru will also be on stage tonight. You know, the Rex Suru Oni Band. Then as well, I don't like to leave out from this equation on the Gen Z zone. We have FM and Africa Beauty Band, and also the Mickey Blessing Band. Then for Saturday, we shall be experiencing the Calafrica Band. That's Dede Mabiaku and the Calafrica Band. It'll be really nice. And also the band from Jamaica. They are called Roots Trek. Then on Sunday, we are wrapping it up with a number of musicians. The folk music, then Sashino Peters. I know it's been a long time. A lot of people have experienced Sashino Peters on the bandstand. So it will be really nice. Then Daily Sax and the host of others. I hope I'm not.
Yes, we'll get to some others later, the other members of the crew, because I see that you have a full house, or you plan to have a back-to-back entertainment. The groove is really tight. Yes. The groove is really tight. And you found a way to balance the entertainment, because when I started talking about Fela, I know that a lot of us know Fela can relate. But when you talk about the Gen Zs, some may be wondering, who is Fela? What kind of music did he play? Why is he so popular? 26 years after this man is gone, you still have Felabration, and you're still able to draw the likes of Koffi The Guru to come perform or to come enjoy Felabration. What is it about Fela? What made Fela actually tick? Let me ask you, Koffi. I know that as much as I was talking about Fela, I could see you nodding. There's a lot about him that resonates with you, or there's a lot that you admire. What's it that made you want to be part of Felabration? Apart from the fact that King Sabrina put a call across and you say, okay, I'm here. All right, I will have the time to do that.
The reality of it is that Fela will always be here, because for as long as we live, the human conscience will always be with us. So if you have a conscience, at some point it will prick you to do what is right for yourself, your society, family, and the like. So we all at some point must get to that point. Either rich, poor, young, old. There are times that you have to just realize that truly I need to be responsible to society. So for any one particular person who constantly has been that idol for all of us, we would always go back to their works, and that's what Fela's legacy has become. When we go into our vanity, at some point we will have to go to reality. And Fela's music captured our essence, our existence, our realities over time. So once it happens, there will be reference back to, and Fela don't talk this thing. So that's why he constantly became relevant. For every time it happens, Fela been talking about unknown soldier, zombie, oh zombie, water lighty, food no de, everything he said, as we experience it, it ricochets back to Fela. So you see that all the pop acts of the 70s and 80s, they did not put subject matters into place. They only just gave us fun music to just vibe to, and then, but Fela took the subject matters, took the beatings, took the insults, took the disrespect, took all of the pain for humanity. So it was only right that at a particular time in history, history has to now repay him for all those sufferings. And that's what's happening right now. So we cannot have, let me not use names, a festival for people who did not put their conscience down. But now we can have a celebration of a man who sacrificed all of himself for humanity. Now we can see it. The parents who at that time felt, this Fela guy is safe, are now the ones telling their children, be like Fela, be like Fela, be like Fela. Sing something that people later they can say, okay, you are singing good songs. Say something valuable. Because for every time you just come into the space and you just drop your vain songs, you fade off. But now people are starting to see. Like on our album project, we had to make sure we did like 2-3 conscious songs that, over time, even if the commercial ones fade off, those ones will make you relevant over time. That's why when he said Malaika performed, Fuji will forever be relevant because Fuji constantly discusses social issues. As it is happening, in fact, as it is happening right there live, they are involving the situation in the music. He's singing about what is happening live. So Juju music also captures society. It mirrors society as it were. But pop music usually doesn't. It just goes, I love that baby, make she give unto me. And then another person comes to love that baby and give unto me again. So that cycle comes and goes. And then reggae also does the same thing. It captures reality. It captures pain. It captures the conscience of man. So people who do that kind of music, that's why a Bob Marley will forever. That's why there's a new mix of a Bob Marley song with Rema. A song he did in the 70s with the quads. So all the time, anybody who puts their conscience first to try to add value to humanity will always be relevant. And that's what Fela has always been. Somebody who took of himself to give to others.
You performed yesterday, Ashley. How was it with the crowd, performing at Felabration? And Koffi just mentioned that in your album, you did some socio-conscious song. We don't see that. It's not very common for a female artist. How comfortable are you in that zone?
Well, I'm very comfortable because music has always been my thing, and I'm always very intentional with my song. I'm a storyteller. When you listen to my song, you can always relate, or it falls back to different areas and angles. So as for my experience yesterday, it was a beautiful experience. I've always wanted to be on stage for that event, Felabration. There were times when I would just go as an audience. But one day I said to myself that I must climb the stage. And it happened yesterday. So it was a beautiful experience. I was so happy. And the audience were amazing because they were really feeling every bit of my performance.
Wow. I can imagine. We'll come back to you and we'll come back to your works. But hey, let's look at reggae music. Reggae music is also another kind of music that is a social mirror. The likes of Bob Marley, even Lucky Dube from South Africa, Peter Tosh. But we've seen that for some of these reggae artists, after they're gone, there is no celebration like Felabration going on globally to celebrate the works of those people. What can we do in that aspect?
First of all, I have to tell you that I do that. I normally do have this Bob Marley Day in Freedom Park. I've been doing it for a very long time now to celebrate Robert Nesta Marley, which is my main mentor. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing the youths of nowadays, they don't want to crack their brain to write good songs. And what I want you to know, you cannot give what you don't have. They don't have it. So you can't force them to do what they don't have. So the only thing I just say that a lot of people at the outside the world, not in Nigeria here, they are the one doing that. But we are working on something on the ground to do something about that.
Okay, but when we talk about social conscious song, it seems like a risk for an artist. Because these days, everybody wants to jai jai, and you're singing about what is happening. For some, they've given up, particularly when you talk about Nigeria, they've given up. They feel, what are you singing? They already know, leave that in and give us something we can dance. As a producer, how did you find the guts to even take that kind of risk and with a female artist?
Well, first and foremost, you have to be you to sell music. You have to, even if the society doesn't want that subject matter, if you bring it as you and you are real with it, sooner or later they will have to accept it. Techno did a couple of conscious songs, despite being in the forefront of the quote and unquote Afrofusion, now being called Afrobeats. He did it's a nice thing. He has done a couple of conscious, intentional conscious songs, despite doing dance songs. And people listened. You know, every time African China drops it, whether or not you want to listen, he will drop it. Eventually, people still go back to it. Every year, they must play Idris Abdul Karim everywhere, no matter what. So you cannot, and then that inspires some level of people. We could take the risk because we could see and envision what would be. Like we just said, if a fella hadn't done it, we will not have Felabration. We want to have a legacy for the future, not because this is what is in vogue, so let's do it. The vogue always fades. But what are you? It's because she has the consciousness. That's why we could put it down. It shouldn't be forced. Like he said, if you don't have it, you can't give it. It's because she has it in her. And then we could say, okay, let's add that to what we're trying to sell. You know, it's Wosi market we're selling. We're selling Tom Tom in one side, we're selling granite in one side, we're selling sugar in the same small kiosk. So it must balance. As you come and buy egg, we'll sell chewing stick for you too. The society we are in, you have to spread it. And that's why most artists who just go on the side of banging music usually fade off, because there's nothing to trace back to their conscience after a while. You'll notice that most of the artists that over time have been able to hold people are the ones that once in a while will do that conscious song that talks to people's suffering and pain. Burna Boy will usually do that. Whiskey did with Ojo Elegba. Davido would always be there because he's always constantly talking about what people yearn for, money to survive. You know, we rise by lifting others. Those mantras are things that he's using to pull consciousness. So if you don't have that consciousness and you're just thinking about how you like the girl and the girl should come and you gradually fade off. But if you can once in a while just pick something that society can relate with, you know, NEPA don't cut the light. When Techno said that in the song, he already won half of the population, because that day, NEPA cut their light. So, yeah, you need to speak the language of the people. If you can just let them know that I understand that Gary has increased price, they'll be like, okay, now our guy be this. Now this guy gonna end this thing. Now this one, he say, Burna Boy goes, I did Port Harcourt when they, now our man be this, in the Port Harcourt when the thing happened. So those are the languages of the street.
Relatability.
Yes. That a lot, you know, he would just pick something from the streets and own it. And that's one thing with Fela. He owned every of those things that he picked from the streets and rebranded it and made it even bigger than the streets could own it, and then defined it in such a way that it could stand the test of time. If you hear somebody say, now rough fight, then they fight, instantly your head will go to Fela's rough fight. You know, Fela owned every of those things. Anything that is the streets lingo that people normally just use, Fela took it. Láàárọ̀ Monday, Èkó nígbàgbà. So once you say mi ò nígbàgbàkúgbà, the thing that comes to you láàárọ̀ Monday. So that's how to consciously just grab the system and then put yourself in it, and it will help you in the future.
All right, we're going to break shortly, but before then, Sabrina, today, Felabration continues until Sunday. What should people come expecting today? I know you have lots of artists coming to perform. But what's the hook?
Today, as usual, like I said earlier on, we're going to have Dilly Taiwo on the bandstand. Then not forgetting on the band, Afo Slide, who is usually popularly known as Abe Trombone. He's a trombonist, and he does well with the trombone. Then we shall be having, so many other bands, including FM and Africa Beauty Band. That is on the at the amphitheater, the Gen Z zone, and also this other band will be performing as well, Mickey Blessing Band. Mickey Blessing is the regular band, the Friday night band, social band. When the Tumba, the kind of, that's what it does, and it does well with that too. So today is going to be the Friday. I mean, people should come with their dance shoes.
You know what time it is? It is, thank God, it's Friday. If you don't have, in fact, even if you have somewhere to be, you need to be at where it may happen, where the groove is all hot. And I find it very significant that Freedom Park is hosting Felabration. Freedom Park has a history talking about those who were fighting for freedom, who were fighting for the betterment of Nigeria. They all have one story or the other that connects them to Freedom Park. That's a story for another day, and Sabrina will tell us that story some other time. Yeah, but let's go on this break and just shake to something from Ashley.
From small picking, story plenty, make a live and be. Daddy took his pay into the bottle. Pressure no cream, mom see me to settle. Night and day, I day concrete jungle. One can go remember fish also, but still on still we no complain because I know say no pain no gain. Very very soon we go pop champagne. Sawa 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 le. Money I walk on sakuro le. Igboro le gan jojúmọ́ kò pé. Ọmọ tó bá rí ṣe aṣápadà wálé. Overcome it all. Overcome it all. Overcome it all. Overcome it all.
Wow, that was overcome done by Ashley here, but I didn't get enough of that because I need space, space to express myself.
It was shot at the Freedom Park.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow, wow. I told you something about Freedom Park. Like,
And then she was wearing this in it as well.
yeah, I think I can remember. But hey, are you a designer or you give your own design to the designers? This is what I want, custom made. I like what you did with this. Looking at it looks like a t-shirt, but it has the African touch.
Yeah.
AO Afrique did this, but she's also a designer.
Well, I'm also a designer.
So you're all in all.
I
Wow.
go to the market, sort my fabric, sit on my machine, cut and sew.
That's really a creative person. She's not just an artist, she's a creative person. All right, so Juvie was missing earlier on. You didn't see him here, but he alone can tell you what he's been up to. Juvie can be mischievous sometimes, but the good thing that he's here, so he's in. I have to put him here, close to an elder. He misbehaved. You get a knock. Now, talking about knocks, I told you earlier that Fela was a foreigner when it comes to calling people out, people who were misbehaving, people who were not doing the right thing when they should do the right thing. And he was not afraid of what would come for him. Fela suffered a great deal. He had to go through a lot. And that's something that a lot of artists that would maybe like to do social conscious song are not willing to do. Some have tried her, but after they did part 1, part 2 was nowhere coming because when they saw what came on them, they had to respect themselves. Yes, some of them jackpot, some of them had to stay but rebranded. But for reggae artists, it's a thing like till death do us part. They never change. They're on that part. For some of them, it led to them dying early. But looking at the younger generation, which we call the Gen Zs now, how's that affecting entertainment? Not just for music, but for comedy. Before, you could watch a comedy show, you have the video, the time that Koffi was fully into comedy himself and some of his colleagues at that time. You could get a video of that, you watch, and the next day you want to watch, you're still laughing. In fact, your neighbors are worried for your sake because you're thinking, they don't know what's making you laugh. What's happening with this our neighbor? Something go wrong. But it's just that same show you've been watching for like 1 week, 1 month, that is still cracking you up. But these days, you go to a comedy show, it's the side attraction for you. The comedian is laughing at his own jokes and try to make you laugh. What happened?
You want me to knock people with what you said?
You just want to know.
You know, when you are knowledgeable enough, you'll be able to dispense what you have. A lot of us from way back, we took in a lot of information, knowledge, we read a lot, you know, we could disseminate in different directions, and then we studied the art of public speaking. We could know how to address different audiences at different, you know, the peaks and the falls, and you know the wave, how to ride the wave. But as at that time, we had the passion to want to express a potential within us, you know, a passion. Then we started making money. And then some guy looking at you like, man, these bros, they clean out too. Oh boy. I see me say funny now. If you do this the way they do. So some of the early risers who came to join us were people who watched all our performances, collated them, studied them, and then event planners and some agency owners started having partnerships with such people and started presenting them for functions, even more than some of us who were the original progenitors. So that volume encouraged another set of people to come on board, whether or not they were original. They could just take one from Basketmouth, one from Koffi, one from Ali, one from everybody. So now they are big brands. Some of them are around us. We see them. They came into the system by poaching. So what you don't have, you can't give. You picked from around, sourced materials to get to the point of notoriety. So to maintain it is very difficult. That is exactly what happened. Some didn't come with their originality. Some are businessmen. They admit that they are businessmen, and they are making it clear to us, say, I'm not that funny. I'm a businessman, and I'm doing it for you people to see. You know who I'm talking about. He don't. No need to. No. I like a humble hustler because I'm a hustler too. Humble hustler say, no be say I funny like that, but I sabi package things, and I dey try. But it's different from these people that make it look like, yes, I'm all that, but we know you don't have what it takes. I've been here for 25 years. Some of these people you're talking about, in another 2-3 years, they fade off and a new circle of nonchalance come into the system. So long as they are making money in partnership with wedding, event planners, agencies, they will keep deteriorating the system the way you have noticed it. And then they come with this lackadaisical attitude because as far as they are making money and they don't have to do so much, when we're hustling it big, we had to do everything at the same time. As a stand-up comic, as an actor, you go and do some, you know, everything. Ali Baba used to act at National Theatre while still hustling the corporate cycle until eventually. But this one, you see a young guy who's just coming up, comfortably running away from the tedious ends of making his bones. He just wants a phone call, wear a suit, and go and talk and collect money. So the hard work that should come mentally is not there because he doesn't have to think so far. All he just has to do is wait for the next punchline Koffi is going to drop, grab it. So if he continuously does that, those are the moments when they now come on stage, they are stuck because they don't have that spontaneity. They just want to pick on people on the audience, which is always very irritating. So they don't have materials to use. I don't see the reason why a comedian should come on stage and get stuck. And then I'm like, you have been told about a month ago that you are coming to this event. You have been told the subject, the theme of the show, and you cannot do a joke around that theme. As I sit down here, if you ask me, immediately I came in, I already told your bosses about Walsh, what I saw downstairs. I could create materials around it. As I came here, I've seen the banter. I know what to say about the banter. But these average new age people, they cannot bring in information and then recycle it and throw it out there again because they just came in as what do they call interlopers, people who just came to grab, I see opportunity. So, and that is the same across every discipline presently in Nigeria, every business. It is crumbling across every business, not only entertainment. You see fake pure water makers. You see, the only people that are not fake in Nigeria are for organizers. Because I must see
don't be too sure.
I must see the tire pressure before I leave.
When you look the other way now.
No. You must. They are the only ones. They are okay. PSI. But you will not be on location all the time with bricklayer or the building developer. You will not be there. You don't know what the doctor is removing from inside you. It is what it tells you he has removed that you believe until you now find complications. So we have quacks in every discipline, every job, everything you want to see on earth. So it's not only us, Nigeria, it's the same thing. And it's as the times are going, people are desperate for quick money, they're desperate for fame, and you see social media has also worsened it because with just 5 minutes, you have your attention and then you can make all the noise, you can rant and be famous. So when people now celebrate, especially corporate Nigeria, now put so much attention on instant fame, it's going to deteriorate the need to want to work hard to come to the table. Because they see that this guy is just talking every day and people are following him. Why do we need to pay Koffi XYZ as an ambassador when this guy is having more numbers than Koffi? So the value that Koffi brings and experience does not matter anymore. But we want to just go with this guy that is just, people just like him. And then later they complain that he's not marketable because they are following him just to catch their cruise, but they are not buying the products. But I hope someday we'll all go back and realize the mistakes, our errors. And even the comedians you're talking about will get to the point they realize that if this is what I want to do for life, I actually need to be seasoned and very professional about it. I need to read and learn. I'm seeing comedians who are still cracking jokes. They've been cracking as far back as 10, 15 years ago. Bro, there is a war in Israel right now. You can crack jokes about a pilgrim that got stuck and started to claim that he's, you can, I didn't even finish what I'm about to say, but you can picture that, oh, this guy, where is he going? I'm cracking jokes about Mobad, and my younger colleagues are like, how do you think? This Mobad that just happened, you're cracking jokes about it. I'm not where you are, I don't go. I've even moved beyond Mobad jokes. I've gone to the next, so they don't have that cognitive to quickly put things together because they have been mentally made to be lazy. Yes, it is the cycle they are in. And I'm not blaming anybody. If the cycle changes, they will change. When Fela was here, he was putting people on their toes. Did you know? I was telling my wife some days back, Colinti was speaking in one interview and he was saying some very powerful English words. And I'm like, see, these were the people that they thought were illiterate. See Colinti speaking this kind of English. As far back as the 70s, 80s, and 90s, these were the custodians of the message to the people. Colinti would do an album. As you're dancing and grooving, he's educating you about MAMSA. He's telling you things that you should know that the government is doing. He's educating the illiterate and the people in the suburbs that do not have the privilege with his music. Shina Peters, at the same time, is telling you, he's educating you about music. He's the same time telling you, give our women chance to. His speech is, before feminism, Shina Peters was at the forefront of female emancipation. They were always putting messages in their music. As Sonny Ade is singing this thing, he's also mentioning, he's saying something about Festac, what Festac meant. So for the illiterate around who didn't know the full meaning of Festac, it was from Sonny Ade, he knew the meaning of Festac. Ayinla Omowura, at the same time, he's telling the people in Abeokuta, this is what is happening in Lagos. Mobolaji Johnson, governor of Lagos, has made rent this amount in Orile. He has made rent. They were emancipating and teaching their people. And we thought they were illiterates. But look at, this is 2023. The average pop artist does not have any information in his music about what is happening to his generation.
Okay, but even at that, I know Jury is itchy to say something, but
there was this same argument about the old and the new, and academics in hip-hop, he was saying the old guys that had the fame, some of them didn't make use of their fame to get some money. So the new boys are listening more to the people making money. So dissing the older generation, does it have anything to do with this? Because the people that started, let's say, comedy in Nigeria way back, Obalinde, there was the Obalinde around here that makes his mouth and all that. They were not really about the money. And I think they were not so much about the business per se. They just love this stuff. But the newer generation are about more about the money. The stuff you listed are quite true. And so how do we marry that? Because it's affecting across board, whether it's reggae, whether it's hip hop, whether it's even what we call Afro. It's not entirely Afro, because you want to be in a live, you listen to percussion, the string is playing, then you stay and you are meditating, even if nobody's saying anything. So how do we marry that if the older generation were not so rich? Because these new Gen Z boys are about the money. How much is he bringing to the table?
First and foremost, we need to start teaching people the true definitions of what money is. Money is not cash. It is cash that these young boys think is money. Money is the relationship that cuts across all of us here. And your fulfillment is money. What you gain for yourself is money. Whatever translates to your peace and prosperity and your happiness, that is money. Whatever fulfills you is money. For instance, I've done an album and I feel the target audience, the person that needs to hear that song has heard it. I'm fulfilled. That's my money. My mom heard the album and said, man, my son, you did this. Wow. That's the number one person I'm trying to impress. And I'm fulfilled. I've gotten my target. So, because if you continuously chase cash, you will never get to the end of it. That's why Mark keeps going, Elon Musk keeps going, they all keep going. They will never get to the end of it. But you see some other person who is not pursuing all of that, and he's looking fresh, he's looking bubbly, he's looking shiny, he's all that and all that, because he has gotten to that point of fulfilling what he wants to fulfill, which is what the older generation artists were all about. Wanting to touch lives with their music, impact mentals, touch emotions.
Talking about, also, I'm looking at what do the people that believe in this art and craft itself, like you have Comedy Avenue, where you could go and listen to real joints. You don't need anybody paying any, and the reward, they sort of recognize themselves. Yeah. What are you and the people you feel have got this stuff? What are you looking at setting up something that other people you could give them platform, mentor them, because we need real joints. I remember listening to Eddie Grant. Da, 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 da. That was when I knew I never saw the stuff, Da, da, da. So what is he saying? Da, 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 da. Johannesburg, the Appetite. He sang Appetite using his song. Okay. Yeah. And so I grew up just listening to it. So it was later that I knew it was Johannesburg that he was talking about. And so I'm saying, so what are you? Your likes.
Okay, so what are you guys doing, or what should be done to have that connection, transfer of knowledge, wisdom to the Gen Zs, to the one coming after them, to the alphas?
So there's one thing we should take into consideration. You see, most of our medias, I'm sorry to say you are part of them. I'm not saying you are doing the negative part. They've already messed up the industry. How? Collecting money from these artists and their song on radio stations.
Song promotion.
Rubbish songs. Do you understand? Will I ask you, how many times have you heard Asha's song heard on, radio station? How many times?
Yeah, if it's a new joint, it gets airplay.
They collect money from them, so they feel they are good. So those guys feel they are good. Yeah, my song is good. Yeah, I need to give them 40,000, 60,000, whatever. And their song cannot cut across Nigeria, not talk about Africa. Do you get what I'm saying now? In the media also have something that's really affected this industry. I know what I'm saying. When they go to their station, play this, they give them 50,000. On the radio station, they don't start. But good songs in Nigeria, they don't play it. They don't hear them at all.
Has it anything to do with the fact that good music is not promoting money, power, sex? Because if you do that anytime.
Go first, this one or go back to that other one?
You can do both.
I know what you said.
What he has said, let me put it in a better perspective. Payola works in any level. I won't say it's the fault of the media house as well. But some songs have come out, whether or not you put money behind it, and they've blown. We've seen that over and over again. Portable took over the streets without payola. And then some people do payola and still never blow. So it's a balance one way or the other. Society will align with you whether or not you do payola. So let's leave that aside. I can't blame the media. if God has instructed that this is going to be, it's going to be. That's my own. Yes, that's my own. So in the area that the media should now do is just strike a balance. But at some point too, the media cannot leave their office and be going over the whole street looking for whose song will blow next. It is who comes to them and makes them feel comfortable too. So let's try, like since we've been doing Ashni's media tour, not one person has asked me for a kobo. They just hear our songs and go, ah, where has she been? This girl is fire. You know. So sometimes the material also encourages the media house. The reason why most people did payola was when they were not sure enough. And after a while, who is the human being that will be seeing free money and will not collect? I won't blame you. You will collect.
All right. So
But let's go back to that thing that you were asking me, that what are we doing? Society determines what should happen at every point in time. If you go around town, you see comedy clubs all over the place. Young boys are springing up comedy clubs everywhere. They are doing these engagements all the time. What we can do as custodians or the early comers of the space is to continue to be a yardstick. So it is left for them. You can only take the horse to the stream. You can't force it to drink. So the ones that see me as role models will definitely toe my line. But the ones that see the other way of let me just make quick cash, that's where there's nothing you can do about that thing, because first and foremost, it's about human emotions, how they personally feel to their own survival. Will this bros way pay me? No, you no go pay me. No be who want hear intelligent joke now. Let me just go to this place where they go spray me sharp. So spray me sharp is what is raining for some of the boys. That's how far he can see. Let me go to a show, crack some raunchy jokes, get sprayed, go home. But I am seeing beyond every weekend, every pub, every bar, spraying. I know that with my intellectual path, this is the future I'm securing for myself, because that has a bus stop. This has a future. I'm going to where Mr. Bean is. I want to be a Rowan Atkinson in future where I can be knighted, not just celebrated one night.
I want to see you united. Invite me. I will come. But Ashni, your sound is something that people would naturally love. And that happened too because you took time. I'm not sure you just went into the studio and said, I want to record a sound. You took time out to, first of all, know your sound. Know what kind of sound you want to do and what the audience too would like. But apart from you taking time to create and refine your sound, we've often had this argument about some artists. They say this one isn't talented, the other one is talented. But we've seen that some who are said to be talented don't even go far. And some who are said to be talented go far. So what is that thing that gives the state power? Some can write, but cannot actually sing. In other countries, there were songs written for Michael Jackson. R. Kelly wrote songs for other artists. He didn't sing them. He could write and also sing. But some have the talent. They can write, sing, do everything. Yeah, we also have people, apart from creating the beats, they want to do everything. As an artist, where do you draw the line to say, this is where my talent ends, let me bring someone else to complement me?
Okay, so I can actually go in different directions. Just like they said, if you don't have it in you, then you can't bring anything out. Music has always been something that anytime I try to, in between, it is very frustrating where you don't have support and all of that. You just want to step back. But I find myself, music calls me back because it's something that I just can't do without. So talking about what you just mentioned, I think writing, I love writing. And there are times when I just need flows from other people as well. So when I'm stuck in between or I'm not very okay, because in a way I feel like I'm a professionalist. When I write or compose songs and I go back to it, listen to it again, and it's not giving me, I want my songs to give me goosebumps. If it's not giving me that, then I feel like I'm not doing it well. So I go back to it again. I'm not in a hurry to just sing and just put it out there. So in between, when I feel like there's something missing, I need more. I might just hold on my boss, and because I know he's a very good writer. Boss, please, I need something out of Ashni. I just want to put different ideas together and see how I can just make sure it come out very well. So as a writer, yes. A singer, yes. A performer, Yes, and then for performing, I really do not like playback performance.
You mind? DJ is doing the work.
I really do
You
not
just
like
wanted to
it.
like.
At that time, because I don't have the capacity and then the what I need to, you know, bring out that live performance thing. But thank God for my management team. I was able to do that first time yesterday. That was my first ever live performance. So it's something that I really love. In fact, going forward, moving forward, that's what I want to keep doing. Because I love it when the guitar is playing, this is playing different sounds, and then you are just, it will just take you away. I don't know, it's just...
Yes,
it's
I
so,
think that the management team also
yeah.
determines to an extent how well the artists work to stay in their game. But Juvie, do you think we're a part of the problem? The audience, what we want, what we demand. A creative artist starts and starts singing. Okay, I don't want to call any name, but you may know the person. Now, this person is very good as a writer, as a singer. He sings songs and you're like, wow, if this guy was abroad, he would not blow well. So a record label, big record label in Nigeria, signs the guy on. And recently he's been doing some kind of commercial song, deviating from that.
Okay.
And you're, in the thinking of some of us, we're like, bros, how far can you sustain this? Because you are not you yet. You were you when you were doing your kind of music, but because we didn't appreciate. So our preference, is it a pressure for the artist to deviate? And does it make some of them want to stick to pride to say, oh, so if I give credit to the person who wrote the song, they feel I'm not talented, I'm not good enough. It's just singing song written by somebody else.
I think the truth is the society, your audience, to a very large extent, if they determine what you do. I think it was No Woman, No Cry. Robert Nesta Marley gave credit to who actually wrote the song. It wasn't his song. And so there's no problem with you getting songs from someone else. But sticking to a commercial stuff, Asha has stuck to her pattern. She hasn't changed, and she has her audience, and she's not minding whether she gets Gen Zs on. She's good. There's the Femi family, the whole family, they've stuck to their pattern, and it's okay for them. So as an artist, to a very large extent, I think it also has to do with you. Are you cool going down this way? KRS-One, Rakim, you could go on and on. They stuck with their pattern. They didn't switch because this is, so you're doing more of the future kind of, trap. No, they didn't switch. They just felt this is not it. They were calling out, like, guys, if you're going to do this.
I feel it's an insult on oneself to try to want to continuously impress an audience that is not yours. It is very wrong. When you see that you've gotten to a certain, like me now, you invite me to an award ceremony and you want to put me in a contest category, you are insulting me. I should be getting honorary awards. I've played my part on certain levels. You now want me to be competing with, like me now, you want to put me in the same category as a fresh comedian, as comedian of the year. No, I will personally feel I'm insulting myself. You understand? So my target audience is not the kids that watched me grow. Because at this point, that's how they see me. So the people who know my worth would definitely always call me for business. But I can just only entertain a particular demographic once in a while, just to refresh, but not want to constantly, someone says, we know they see you do skits. Hello, where was Mr. Macaroni when I was already all over your tube? And how many TV stations were here then? You only had 2 or 3. So how do you expect me to be on over 200 platforms in 2023? What's the rat race? What exactly are we pursuing? And that's what drains people into depression, because they are constantly trying to impress, which is what kills an entertainer. Don't impress. Express yourself righteously, truthfully, honestly. And then the reason why most people toe that line of leaving their originality to want to go to commercialism is because maybe the investor wants to make their money back. But technology has solved the problem. On our end now, if you guys decide that this is what you want by force, all we have to do is sponsor our materials to demographics that can pay online, and we'll get our money back. It's not a fight anymore. Okay. It's not by force that we must come and perform at Obalende.
Right. Or time and again, what I always tell people that you do music, you sing a song that you think they should listen to, not what they want to listen to.
Yeah.
It's you determining actually
that's just it.
what the audience should listen to.
Yeah.
All right, you have the right now. Olivier, so please take that right.
What you're asking me about?
Yes, you actually, I agree with what you said. You have the right to determine what kind of joke we'll listen to here right now. So please take that right and tell us whatever kind of joke you want.
Oh, like you're asking me to tell a joke.
Yes, you have the
That
right.
comes with an invoice.
Well, it wasn't part
That
of
was the
what-
joke. That was the joke. Yeah, he got it. That was the joke. That was the joke. Blessing. I mean, you want carry roll. You want.
No. I was trying to internalize what you people just said. But of course, you know.
But honestly, I'm thinking Nigerians are at that point where everybody has gotten to the peak and the end of the mental struggle. Depression is everywhere. So whoever you see is going round. Everybody is being flogged. If anybody, there's no middle class anymore. You know, it's high class and low class. So the way we used to handle things before, use of language is changing. There was a time when you would visit somebody at home and they are eating. And then as you are entering, they'll say, please join me. Do you notice that now nobody says, please join me again? What they will say is that, Oga, when I finish, I will join you. Go wait for, you know. And then you don't see people fight in traffic like before again. When was the last time you were in traffic and you saw somebody say, do you know who I am? Because if you try, as you are shouting, do you know who I am? Somebody in the corner is calculating, we'll soon know who you be. Maybe in a 50 million ransom you go pay, we go know. Or you see somebody shouting, I can feed you and your entire family. Yes, sir, when make we come? You know, and then people are cutting their coats according to their size. You know, I was at the Aboki kiosk one day and one man rushes and goes, Aboki, I beg, give me half candle. Half can. Aboki say, Kai, wallahi, half a candle. He say, Oga, no be only me. Sell for me. Somebody go buy the remaining half. They were arguing when one other guy come. Oga, I beg, Ona get half candle. He say, I don't tell you. So the guy is leaving again. I say, hey, Oga, I beg, give me matches. Aboki goes, matches, you know, be 10 naira again, on 100 naira. I say, no, now one stick I need. So cut your coat according to
your size. Thank you very much, Koffi The Guru. And thank you, Ashley. Yes, we'll keep playing Ashley's song because Sunday is a big day when Ashley opens the box and say, hey, this is what I've been cooking. Hey, guys, come eat. And thank you very much for gracing us today. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clark. And I know that you have a lot of things you'd have told us about your sculpting work and then your music, but we're out of time. But we have more time. We'll bring you back in here some other time. And I hope you guys will have a blast tonight at Felabration. Ashley has done her part and she's looking forward to, she's looking forward to next year's own. And Clark will be doing his own performance today at Felabration at the Freedom Park. Thank you, Juvie, for being here. Iron Blessing H. The Banter returns again tomorrow. Bye.
I go overcome. Bless my mama. Take it all. Fly away. I go overcome. Bless my mama. Take it all. Fly away. Where it don't take, where we there for the streets, we dey hustle for the pay, every day go back up there. The pain I face from small picking.